yeah, I wanted to start this sort of series where I read a book and then watch the movie that the book is inspiration for. If that makes sense. So, like, those little movies you watch and it's like, oh, well, the book came first. I sort of want to go read the book and I watch the movie with or without friends and sort of just see like how they compare. Like, because always for me, I grew up with the mentality of, oh, you watch the movie, TV show, whatever, once you've read the books and stuff as like a reward and everything, and if it came first it should be better, the whole thing. But now I have more agency in my life. It's hard to tell when something does come out, like a new movie, of like, oh, should I read the book first or watch the movie first? That's always a big gamble of like the correct order to not ruin the whole like story for you. So here I guess I'm gonna try to help you out. At least it's something else to know before you try to go it on your own and you might make a mistake. So I guess for the first one, I read Maurice by Forster. I don't know if I'm saying the title correctly, and I have the book back in Glasgow because I live 2 lives 5,000 miles apart, so this is fun. But yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am on the, ever since I read Call Me by Your Name, I'm on this kick of trying to find a book that is enjoyable and queer and of like the same sort of like vibe or genre and like story. And I want to look more at the older stories because there's a lot nowadays that are LGBTQ plus characters and storylines and stuff. I also want to sort of get a progression of like all those books over the past 100 or so years, not just the very modern ones, because I'm sure there's really good ones that are, really old, like Maurice. And what I thought was interesting with this book, it was written early 1900s, but it wasn't published until after the author's death in 71 or 72 or something. So it has, again, it's this old Cambridge vibe, dark academia vibes, but yeah, it's like schoolboys like in college and stuff. So it's very interesting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not entirely this, but I still enjoyed it. I recommend it. It's a bit, you can tell it was written early 1900s. Yeah, like you can definitely tell, but it doesn't take away from it. It's just if you don't know going into it, it's a bit surprising. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked how it wasn't just about their time at Cambridge. It was mostly then, because that's like where the two, I guess, like main characters meet and stuff, but it goes like beyond it, and that's what I like. Just like Giovanni's room in Call Me by Your Name, it's not just sort of like the romance, it's like a main partly about that, but you sort of get, especially in Call Me by Your Name, more of like an afterwards or something, or more beyond it. It's not just a romance, and I like it because it makes it seem more human. Like in life you have more than going on than just one thing. At some points it was a bit of a bore to go through, and I think it's just the writing style, because that's very similar to Lord of the Rings, where it's of an older style, and it may have also been because it's a Penguin book, and that's what I had to read for Scottish Lit. So in my head that's like a school book type of book when it's like Penguin or Oxford Classics. But yeah, I really liked it. It's up there with Giovanni's Room, Call Me by Your Name, all of those, and I can't wait to try to find more books in that same like sphere of existence. And I also am excited to explore more of Forster's work. So if you have any good recommendations of where to go next, that'll be amazing. But yeah, enjoyable book. So far I don't feel like I've made the wrong choice of reading it first, because I know that like James Ivory and stuff wrote the screenplay based off the book. So feeling really strong. It's not one of the things where the book is written afterwards or at the same time to help promote the movie. It came way before the movie, and the movie came out in the 90s. So I think I'll watch that tonight. I'll get back to you, so it'll probably be dark in a different background. But thoroughly enjoyed the book. I don't need a movie to enjoy it or want to go read it again sometime, and that's like high praise coming from me because I don't like rereading. I guess I'll hand it over to future me who has finished the movie. Okay, so it's been a couple days, but I finally finished the movie. The movie was like 2 hours, and from watching it, it dawned on me that his name is not Maurice, it's Maurice. I don't know what's up with that spelling, but I don't feel like I'm entirely wrong. I don't know if that's just the like American in me seeing it spelled with an A, that freaked out, because here Maurice, it's like Morris ish, no A, no U. Okay, but as far as films go, it was really great. I enjoyed it. It gives me a lot of Call Me by Your Name's flashbacks, and the same vibe. And I know that's probably because it's another queer novel. Theme slightly different, but still love her. But also because James Ivory has worked on both movies, and I'm beginning to love his stuff. I haven't seen a lot of his movies, to be honest, and I'm really bad with movies, so you wouldn't be surprised to hear that I spend all my time reading versus watching movies and TV shows. So as much as like I know stuff about books and stuff, I don't know that much on movies, or like all my movie knowledge is more theoretical than like actually like, practical, or like from watching it, besides Lord of the Rings. We love Lord of the Rings. But anyways, I thought the movie was really great and enjoyable, even if you didn't read the book. Very accessible in that way, and it's still enjoyable if you did read the book. It's slightly different, like it's not exactly to the book, but I think as taking a story that was originally written out and meant to be consumed in a book format and translating that to a movie, it was really consistent and really well done. A lot of stuff is still consistent, and it's a great sort of like partner and complement to the book. Like you would still enjoy it. There's a lot of differences and stuff, but like overall still really good. Yeah, I would still say to read the book first, because you'll get more of what the movie's trying to get at. They do change some stuff, but overall like it is a more happier tone with the movie than compared to the book. But I think as far as trying to translate a novel that was written early 1900s, set in the same time period where it was illegal to be gay or for guys to be queer in England, and translating that was published in early 70s to a movie that was published in the 80s, I think it was really well handled. Yeah, again, a lot of Call Me by Your Name flashbacks, but we're not going to mention that one actor. I know we don't like that, but the movie itself really great. And so now for me, I'm almost starting this like tiny bookshelf or collection in my head of stories like Call Me by Your Name, Giovanni's Room, and now Maurice, that deal with love in this certain way, but that are also queer. I'm trying to expand it more, but it's a really weird and like niche like genre that I'm going for. And as I was reading the books and watching the movie, I kept getting these flashbacks from these three stories, and I'm sure there's more that I will keep adding to it. But yeah, it was really nice. Again, just enjoyable overall. Like, yeah, they did change a lot of things, but I can sort of see why they did it, to make it like more consistent as a movie to stand by itself, but also like not stray too far from the like original book material. So I'm not upset about that, and honestly I sort of liked how there was like a nicer ending or nicer vibe to it, like a more pleasant vibe to the whole movie than the book. And I understand like why the book did it that way, but it was also nice to finally, you know, watch a movie where you weren't being almost like punished, tried to be cured just because you're like different or not like heteronormative and stuff like that. Like if you can't fit into a box, or gonna punish you, or you know, like something bad's gonna happen, like, and that's the movie, like have fun with that. There's a lot of parallels I can draw with the Call Me by Your Name movie, but I think like the first half hour, 45 minutes, I think that's about where I stopped after the first night. I am in love with it, and I think that's sort of the point, because that's sort of like the first romance of that, where they sort of find each other, where they're sort of like coming to terms with it and exploring that, and that's before the whole trial and everything else. And that's, I don't know, like, oh, I was thoroughly enjoying it and like actually being happy and like happy for them and stuff. It's like in Call Me by Your Name, or in Giovanni's room, like when they finally like get together, sort of like the bit of the chase or like the build up, they actually get together, they're enjoying it, and it's before everything sort of change or like shifts. And I think that just goes to show like how well it can be done in the movie and also in the book, because I did enjoy that as well. Yeah, also with the book and the movie, that second half after school, I thought it was all gonna be set in Cambridge. It wasn't, and I get it, it's cool, but I thought it was mainly gonna be like a school romance and stuff, so that was interesting to be reminded of that when I watched the movie again, that like, oh, it wasn't, and that expectation was sort of like to be put to bed, like put to rest and stuff. It's a weird look into a life over multiple years in a time that's so different from now, but also there's a lot of parallels you can draw, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, legally it was like the guys couldn't have like queer relationships. Even now there's still parts of the world or different people's attitudes where it's not safe for them, whether it's in society or even just their families, to sort of be who they are and like live their truth. And so to be like reminded of that and how like people are very consistent throughout times and countries and places, it's really interesting. Yeah, it is an older movie. I said the 80s, but I think, oh, I forget with the one British, I'll put a picture of the British dude. He's in it. He's in a lot of stuff. I liked him better in this movie than like Notting Hill. I didn't really like him in it, even though I do like the bookstore type of like romance and that. So after coming off of this, I wouldn't be afraid to like sort of recommend this book to people. It is older, so you can really tell, but I think that's part of the charm to it, as well as the movie. I'm literally like just smiling and have like almost all good things to say about it. Yeah, so if you ever like have want a time you want to kill, or you know, or want to read a book and then watch a movie, I think this is a really good place to start for all that. I mean, there's more classics and stuff, but eventually I'll get to that. But if you want one that's like different, this could be a really good bet for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a good insight into the movie and everything. As far as which one I like more, I think I would just have to say the movie, because it's bringing me back to coming in the movie and stuff. But I think the book could be able to be reread by me eventually, which I think is a pretty high praise in my book. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas of stuff, of books and movie pairs that you want me to like see sometime, just let me know. And I guess until next time, I hope you're safe and have a good day. And if you liked this, please like it and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. And I'm hyped about the Dune trailer that came out recently, and I can't wait. So you'll probably see my reaction and thoughts of the movie October 22nd-ish, because that's when it comes out. I don't care if I have a paper due the next day, I'm watching that movie.